I'm Heather.
Welcome to Small Town Big Thoughts.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you guys back. It's the second week in March. It's so warm outside. Got my shorts on.
I got my capris on.
I got on sweatpants.
It is going to be 70 all week, so I'm excited. I've already been outside. I've already been in the garden.
And we're going to the zoo tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I brought my walking shoes.
That's exciting.
I'm so excited. Ellie will love it.
Oh yeah. I saw those pictures of us last year
Mm-hmm.
at the zoo, and I was like, oh, freaking can't wait.
She'll be able to run around a lot more. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with her.
Her face just has changed so much, but then there are features that are the same, and it's just precious.
I know. It makes me so sad when I look at her baby pictures because it's like, oh my gosh, you're too big.
I know she really I don't know,
sprouted.
The 1 year, the year one that's just wild to me.
She had growth. She had growth.
She looks like a different kid.
And, I was just thinking the other day, how wild is it that when she turned 1, she wasn't even walking, and now she's, sprinting everywhere.
It goes by so fast, and what made me realize it was seeing those pictures and then the boys coming down. Emilio and I took a selfie, and it reminded me of one we had taken when he was younger.
Yeah, I saw your TikTok.
Well, that one did. So I had to use that picture because the other one kept cutting his face off, but toddler him. And then that was our past almost 9-10 years, and so I was like, "Oh God, Ellie's next."
It's so crazy.
It's so fast. It's so fast.
He looked like a little baby, and then almost a teenager.
Yeah,
shit.
He was probably about 1 in that. So, and then, no, we can't blink,
right?
It'll be gone.
I know. That's why I'm trying to do as much as I can with Ellie. Zoo trips, and then there's this one place in Tulsa by Riverside.
Mm-hmm.
Can't think of what it's called, but it's I think it's a sciencey place.
Oh, okay.
Not sure, them.
The Space Museum?
No, it's on Riverside.
I don't know where the Space Museum is.
I think
It's by
that's
the
more
airport.
North Tulsa. Yeah. Oh gosh.
What did it call it?
What's
the Imaginarium or
place?
something.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Wait, what is it?
The Imaginarium,
Okay.
Imaginarium, I don't know.
Yes. No, in the gathering place. I wanted to go there too.
The gathering place? Freaking, I went with Isaiah's family whenever we were together, and they had, at the time, his sister had a little kid, and then his mom had 2 little boys, and it was so crazy trying to keep up with them in the little, I don't know what it was, a little jungle gym thing. And then I was like, I think I'm getting too big for this because I couldn't walk over the little things. And his little sister, luckily, she was there. And so she was they were chasing all the kids. And I was like, oh, goodness gracious. It really makes you feel old, though.
Yes.
Yes.
I always feel old. I felt old going through my stuff last night. I found a digital camera from 2003. I don't know if y'all remember this, but Taco Bell used to have a mascot, and the little Chihuahua.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what that was. It's so
I found it, and you squeeze in, he says, "Yo quiero Taco Bell." I found some old VHS tapes. I found a Beanie Baby. McDonald's gave them away as toys one time in a Happy Meals. And so I found one of those unopened. So your brother was like, let's see if it's worth something. And then all typical 90s mothers, I found a Princess Diana book. So it was really interesting. I'm telling you, I found some shit.
I love going through all the pictures and everything, which we didn't really have pictures from whenever we were kids, but
Mm-mm.
I always loved looking through the pictures of everybody else whenever they were kids.
I did too. But when I'm feeling nostalgic, I'll just go through my old Facebook pictures.
Yeah.
Get a little too far, and it's like, eh. I start cringing at myself, like, I really wore that.
Oh God, don't even get me started on that. I found our junior high prom photos, and yeah, that.
I know there's this one picture where I'm like wearing a football jersey, and it's like, who the fuck let me post that to Facebook?
Yeah, that one is photos, but that one's like recent to maybe 10 years ago. And then the three in there, the bottom ones are a mixture of photos.
Well,
Come on. But like one toe is family, I don't even know, like way before my time. Like I need to get my aunt over here to tell me who they are. And then some, like last night I found a crap ton of my brother. So, and then there's like some of me spread out through all of it. So it's insane.
Whenever mom and dad pass away, we're gonna have to go through all their stuff, and like I'm gonna have to call everybody and be like, "Do you know who's in this picture? Who wants this one?" You know,
right.
because a lot of them, some of them had names, but a lot of them don't.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I gotta call my aunt because I ain't trying to like figure this out later and then no one knows. So
Right.
I probably should do it now.
Dude, I was going through our old pictures one time, and I found like a newborn picture of me, and it still had the original last name on it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was Deborah Lynn Lanham.
That's weird.
I was like, what the Lanham? The fuck? Now it makes sense. Now that I'm older and I know everything. But
Have you ever had that? I never had that last name.
really,
Oh. Why'd you
I
have it?
thought mom changed our names when they officially adopted us.
Nope. Mom and dad took me from the hospital.
Mm, Well, they had my last name changed.
That's crazy.
I don't know how long
Never
you
heard
had
that.
it.
I
That last
know
name.
that for like Buffy said for a couple months you were like with her and then with mom and dad and then I don't know. So probably
Yeah.
bro, I've had so many kids. Every single time one of my friends has a kid, it's my kid. Like Callista's kid was my first kid, which he was just there. So I always he was my first little baby, and then and then every time my friends have had kids after that, I'm just like always there. I'm like, hell yeah, you little guys, so cute. I just love babies. It's always been my destiny, I think, to just love all the kids.
I respect that. I respect that.
Ever since I was
I don't know. I've
a
met
baby,
some
I
kids
just
I
had
would have liked to just punt.
oh my gosh. I've never met a child that I wanted to do that to.
A couple.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Lynn on.
Although in my eyes, Ellie could never do anything wrong. She's perfect in every way. Like
Facts.
if somebody said that about my kid, I'd probably be like,
it.
"No, you're wrong. You're lying. She's
Beat you
perfect."
up. Beat you up. Dude, yes. Welcome, Luna. Thank you for joining us today. Any exciting news outside? Any squirrels?
Well, we need a squirrel update.
Are there squirrels?
It's just
There
top secret information.
I know. Can't give it away.
That whenever I didn't did I send you guys
The snap earlier?
Yeah, the
No,
thumbs up.
the thumbs up kept happening.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if it's because like I was doing a thumbs up and it like popped up.
I wonder if it's one of these.
No, we didn't touch that thing. And it wasn't plugged in. So I was so confused. Like literally a ghost just loved that episode and just kept putting it in there.
I don't know if you snapped it or something, but your brother saw it and was like, "What does she mean, a ghost?" I think she's just kind of being like, ha ha, ghost. And now she's saying, like, I'm an actual ghost. So, this way, if you're going to come over here.
She's like, there's so many wires.
I know. Sit.
We're training her to
She's like,
be,
where's my bed?
like go through the lasers and still diving.
Yeah. I wish. So warm weather,
Yes.
gardening.
I bought a whole bunch of wildflower seeds and I'm just gonna throw them everywhere.
I love chaos gardening.
In
Yes.
the yard? Or like in your garden?
In my raised garden bed. We're gonna save one of the rows though for I think some peppers. And then we're gonna grow tomatoes in pots. We're definitely growing potatoes. And I think I can't remember what else, but we're keeping it small this year.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go big.
Me too.
What are you gonna grow?
Okay, so the old swing set outside, since it's broken, like you can't sit on it. You can pretty much just slide on it. So I think I'm gonna make that a trellis. I think I'm gonna start loofah plants, but I don't think I'm gonna put it in the ground. So I'm gonna get grow bags and put it at the foot of each like slant, and then just like try and train it to grow up and hang down.
Okay.
So I'm planning on that.
This lady was doing
You.
forest gardening. Or like, what's it called? Not like it's like regenerative gardening, but it's like forest something. But it's just where you like grow stuff in the middle of the grass, pretty much, and then you just hope that it takes over.
Oh,
but
yeah.
she said that her husband was mowing, and she was like, "If you're any of my close friends, you'll know that I literally almost got a divorce because my husband kept mowing over this." That would be me. I got so mad at Diego last year because all he had to do was literally mow the opposite direction and just not throw the grass into the garden because then the it just grows.
Yes.
And so I was like, what? And you're never allowed to mow again. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Just mow the opposite direction and blow the grass the other way.
Yeah, there was when they were like weed I think, because I'd have like a whole section of like marigolds just chopped down and tomato plants just severed.
Yeah.
So it's like, how am I gonna do this year without like?
Yeah, I think that's why we decided to do most of our stuff in pots and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping the rotted pumpkin in the front yard will turn into a pumpkin plant. I hope so. Fingers crossed. And then maybe I'll have a survivor.
Well, they might vote for that too.
Oh, stake around. You section it out.
If you guys need any like posts, I got posts because I'm not putting a fence around my garden this year. So if you need any fence posts, let me know, and I got some string. And you can. That's what that lady did. So I was like, that is actually a great idea.
Yeah, yeah.
So, because the fence itself is just like I can't till it up, so I have to like remove the fence so I can till up my garden area. Yeah. So then I was like, well, fuck, how can I use the fence so that it's not wasted? And so I'm going to do art.
Oh, an arch. Yes. Yes.
I mean, I don't know how I'm going to get the fence to arch yet, but I am also.
I've seen people use like those metal rods that they use for the cattle fences.
Yeah, yeah.
And they just stick them in the ground and then they zip tie the thing to the post and then they bend it over and zip tie the other side.
I've seen one also where he kind of weaved it in and out of the fence too and zip tied it to like try and secure it more. So but that would be so cool. I wanted to do that, but
see, I would want to do that with non-vegetable plants. Mm-hmm. Like, I would just want to get a bunch of vining flowers and just create like a mystical area.
I'm doing it with my cucumbers.
See, I would want to do like cucumbers, beans, and probably the loofahs.
I saw this TikTok the other day, and this girl was like, we hear of like pickled eggs and pickled this and pickled that, but why doesn't anybody pickle a cucumber?
I saw that. Real shit. Yes. Yes.
By the way, my pickles are gonna be so good this year. I am so excited. I am not. Last year I made like 3 batches and then I stopped. But my stomach is so growling. I am not gonna stop this year. I think last year I stopped because it was just really hot, and then it just got close to the wedding, and then I was just like, "Oh, this is a lot to do," and then so I just gave up. But I'm hoping that this year I don't give up, and
We can
it'll
go
go
to a
good.
farmer's market and you can sell pickles and I'll sell salsa. And then if
Yes,
y'all have surplus vegetables, you could sell them.
yes, that's like
Yes.
literally my goal. Actually, my goal is to have stuff to sell in the store in
Oh,
Oshalina.
later.
Yeah, and because I just freaking love the idea,
I still want to go there. I still want to own a store like that too.
right?
Yeah, I keep telling myself I'm gonna go over there, but I have yet.
I haven't made it.
They're open on Saturdays, 10 to 3, 10 to 2, or 10 to 3.
Yeah, we already spent like over $200 at Walmart today.
Oh my goodness.
We weren't about to drive farther away to buy more stuff.
That's crazy. Well, I will say that like my favorite things to buy there are cheese, milk, and eggs. That's really the only things that I get. They do have some stuff like I don't buy the candy anymore. Um, but they do have a lady that makes pretzels,
Ooh.
and my favorite ones are the dill pickle. They are so freaking good, but they also have spicy and sweet, and then they have ones that are like a Southwest that taste very similar to the Dots pretzels.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like quite there on the flavor, just because I think that the most of the flavor, like, they don't use the sticky stuff, the
Like
it's
the
glucose that they use,
yeah,
but they don't
something
use that to like keep the stuff on the
like the
pretzel.
binding
Yeah.
agent. Yeah.
So, but then that is also what makes it healthier. So,
Okay.
We're gonna bake it into the pretzel.
because it's more like a seasoning. What if it like affects the pretzel cooking?
Do an experiment now.
Yeah.
Oh, and the bread. There's a lady that makes garlic herb bread, and it's phenomenal.
I wish I could make bread.
Last time,
I
they
just
didn't
made some
have it.
blueberry swirl bread the other day. It was so good.
That sounds really
How
good.
do you make that?
It's like you
It's like
make like a
cinnamon.
blueberry jam, and so you make the bread dough and you roll it out like 9 by 16, and then once you get it all rolled out and flat, you take the blueberry jam that you made,
Oh, kind of like a
and
cinnamon roll.
kinda,
Yeah.
and you just like spread it on there, and then you roll it up, and then when you roll it up, you like kind of like fold it in half, and then like twist it so it like swirls around in the bread, and then you bake.
Okay.
That sounds so good.
That's fancy. Yeah.
It was so good.
It sounds really good.
Dad loved it.
You have more.
No, this was like a few weeks ago. I can try to make it again.
I just love that.
He's like, I want it.
Me and you can try to make it together. You have a stand mixer? You have a stand mixer, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll meet here and make it, because I made it by hand last time and I ain't doing that shit again.
I do want to start to make my own bread. Um, I saw a recipe on somewhere that said that they made their starter with just flour and water, and then you like discard it, and then you add some more, and then maybe she was making yogurt.
I've never heard of flour making
No.
yogurt.
No, well, that was for the starter, but then now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure that I'm thinking about the yogurt one, because I was going to say that you add something else into it from like a previous one, but that's definitely the yogurt, because she was like, if you haven't made yogurt before, then you have to go to the store and buy a little quart of yogurt to add to it. And
Yeah.
then I was confused. I was like, well, if I'm already going to buy yogurt, then why would.
No, it's so easy and it's so good. I love making homemade yogurt and Liliana likes it too. But yeah, you just get like the unfiltered milk and then whatever active starter you want. So I get the Activia. I usually do plain just because I like to spice up my yogurt after it's done. And then I use my Instant Pot on the yogurt setting, and it has to like not cook but like warm intubate for 10 or 12 hours. And yeah, I mean it's an all day process. And then
Like that's something you gotta prepare for.
yeah, I definitely plan and usually do it on like Saturdays or Sundays. I know we're not like going anywhere. But so and then after that, I personally like to put it in the fridge and let it kind of set and like firm up more. And then you can strain it. And so the whey will come out of it. And then if you want more like regular yogurt consistency, if you strained all the way out, you can add it back in and kind of make it thinner. But I like more like Greek yogurt style, and so I try to strain all of it out. And then I use the whey like that's left over for my plants. So
I'm trying to eat more yogurt, but
yeah,
I tried some the other day, the Chobani, and it was like the Chobani flip, and you put like the good stuff in it, and it had like peanuts and chocolate chips and something else in it, and it was. I just wanted the peanuts and the chocolate.
I know, that's how it was the other day. I bought like these little yogurt cups for Ellie, and they had like M&Ms and stuff in the cap. You just pop the cap off, open the yogurt, and dump it.
Yeah.
And I bought them. I was like, "Oh, these will be so good." And then I tried one. And I was like, "This is not good."
I do remember like one time I went on a yogurt kick, and it was like I want to say that it was like the Go-Gurt.
I remember when you would bring those up to the house every day.
Yeah, I did like the Go-Gurt, but that did not taste like the Chobani.
If you make your own and like just like that and the plain one, it is kind of that definitely Greek yogurt, like tangy, I guess you'd say, taste. But if you want it sweetened, like get a strawberry one or blueberry one, or you can also add in sweetened condensed milk, like to your sweetness, and have it sweeten that. So
I cannot wait. I'm gonna plant blueberry bushes, and I'm so excited.
I want some so bad.
Okay, so my plan is to take away the blackberry bushes. We've got like a little crop of them, and then like all of the ones that are around the barn. So we're gonna try to clear out the ones around the barn this summer, and then that way I can create like a keyhole garden. And I've already got an apple tree growing and a pear tree growing, and so I'm gonna add a couple more pear trees and then a couple peach trees. I think I'm gonna do 3 peach trees because I know you have to have at least 2, but I think I'm gonna end up doing 3 of each.
To like cross pollinate all that.
And then for now, I'm going to do my citrus plants in pots on the patio.
You can move them back and forth.
But eventually, I want to dig into the ground and do a greenhouse.
Be so cool.
I so bad want a greenhouse. Like I've always said, like my dream house will have like a add on the side where it's just like a completely glass room, and I will have it filled to the brim with all kinds of plants.
That would be so tight.
And I'll just have one chair in there with a little side table, and it'll be like my place. My when I need to get away from everything place.
Right, freaking
My calm down corner.
I love that.
Last week when I was looking at places for us all to move to in Europe and everywhere else, every single house that I found had a freaking conservatory, and I was like, it's just calling me. It's just calling me to go over there. And they all had like, oh, my favorite place had like apple grove or an apple orchard, and so it had apple trees, peach trees, an orangery. It was in Ireland, so they had an orangery, which is the same thing. It's an add-on to the house where they have orange trees, and they used that for yoga. Yeah, and so it was just like best place. And so I was like, we have to move here.
Yeah.
Like, this is just so freaking awesome.
At least Ireland's your people.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. The website that I was looking at did not have any houses for sale in Netherlands, but I also think that that would be a really cool place to move.
Ellie said I wanted to go to Scotland.
Is Diego gonna move?
No, he's very tied down here.
Would Chance move?
Yes, in a heartbeat.
All right.
I think we're in. I was
Convince your brother.
I was trying to. We can leave him in together.
Right. That'll be fine. We'll just leave them in the house together. They'll play video games.
Logan, I told, well, Elizabeth is also down to go with us because she's like over it. But Logan, I told him, and I was like, yeah, I found this place and it's so cool. It was the place in Italy. And he was like, we do not have enough money for that. And I was like, bro, you should do the math because if we all live together, we can definitely afford it. And he was like, but like that. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just leave you here then. But I think that I definitely could convince Diego to go. But I think I just want to go be a farmer.
Yeah.
Really, I just want to grow grapes, smash them with my toes.
I just want to frolic through the fields with the cows.
I know. I told Diego, I was like, all I want to do is never wear shoes again, always wear a dress every day, and just pick grapes and olives, and that's what I want to do. That's my goals in life. Yeah.
I saw a TikTok saying that that was a sign that you're getting old, and I was like, no, I refuse to accept it. It's just new hobbies.
Right? And then the place that I looked up mine, Diego's, and Justin's, and all of them were like so negative. Our astrocartography, because we also check that shit before we go anywhere. And like mine said that pretty much I would be living in a fantasy land, and I was like, I can't. That's like every day. Anyway. um Diego's said that long term he would have difficulties in relationships and authority figures.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then Justin's said that he would become very cynical. And I was like,
there he is.
I was like, I don't know, this place sounds like a recipe for disaster. No matter how great it does seem.
Did you do mine too?
No, I don't have your chart. I can only have 3.
Rude. I see where I lie.
Well, Justin and Diego aren't going to check theirs.
Send you the link. Put UT and LA on there, and then you can check your guys. And then we'll do a little group chat. And, hey, what about this location? Which all of us, which Reba doesn't want to go to Spain, but all of us have really good lines in Spain.
Bye, guys. Yeah. I'm standing on business.
And then the other place was
wasn't it like South America?
Yeah, South America in like close to what's that place? Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
That place. Oh, we could go be in the parade every year. I don't know what they do, but they got crazy birds that fly around. So
Rio?
Go explore some
like
beautiful culture.
Yeah. You should check yours and see if you're good there, which I assume that you are, because why wouldn't you be? We all are.
Wasn't y'all's like healing mother trauma or something like that?
Yeah, me and Justin.
Yeah, we're like mother healing trauma.
And then, but like for success in career was North, South, Eastern Africa.
That's all Justin's talked about since you guys like looked it up that one day. Yeah, but we come from Africa. I'm like, oh my god.
I love that though, that like everybody can trace their ancestry back to Africa. I think that that's so awesome because I think it just personally, I think it just speaks to like the truth of the Bible, and then God separating people, and what was it, the Tower of Babel, and then He separated everybody and made them go different ways, and I think that that just is so wonderful. I think that's so cool.
I do too. I love
And then
stuff
today
like
we have
that.
this science to like look back at that.
And like trace it generations upon generations.
Oh, there is a really cool island in the middle of the Mediterranean that we also have ancestry from. So I was like, that's freaking cool. Which also
That is cool.
I looked it up, and there's a couple of stipulations, but they're paying people to move there. Which
I've
living
seen
on
a
an
lot of
island
ads
is
How
for
much?
them saying, "Oh, we'll pay you to move to this country." Like, do it. Show me the money.
the stipulations are like you have to work there and make a certain amount of money for a year, but then after a year they give you it was the place that I looked at was like 55,000. um I don't know if that was dollars or euros, but they're pretty much the same. But I was like, heck yeah. And then there's another place in Italy that's also offering um like $20,000 to move there or $30,000 to move there, but you have to like buy a house and renovate it. And then but honestly, I think that that would be super easy. I don't know how expensive it is to like renovate stuff in Italy, but I mean, I think that that would be super easy to do. I mean, most places there already, or most of the places that I looked at, like already had like a store or a shop like on the bottom level,
Mhm.
and then everybody just lives on top of it. And I think that that's like a much better way to live.
Luna, do you want to go to Europe? I just, as long as I'm with you guys and there's food, that's all I care about.
I hope you guys can hear her right now.
Probably, she sounds like a cat.
Oh, the sweet girl.
Oh, I do want to look for like a trampoline to do a moon gate, and I'm trying to convince Diego to let me grow grapes on the pergola. But
I always thought that'd be so pretty if you like found a plant to like grow up it.
right, I want to do grapes just so I can pick them.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, just sit there with a book around your fire, just
Like
picking grapes.
storybook. Like a fantasy.
Grapes are that's the one thing I am so excited to start growing.
Oh, and you got your hammock out there too. You just swinging.
Are you starting from seed or are you
Grapes, I'm gonna buy a little
like
pot,
starter?
yeah.
Okay.
And then I really want to. I'm gonna start with like grapes that'll grow here, but then eventually I want to grow the Italian grapes so that I can make like a
Wine.
what's it called? Not a Merlot, not a Chardonnay, a white one, the white one that tastes good,
Moscato.
a Moscato.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I want to grow Moscato grapes.
Oh,
You can make
corn.
wine with grape juice from the grocery store.
Oh.
Whenever
Buy
I do
the
get
you
into
just
wine,
have
I
to
want to
buy
make all
like
kinds.
there's like a certain kind of yeast. You just dump it in the bottle and like put a balloon over it and just leave it in a dark cabinet for like a week and it should be good.
That sounds like hooch.
It is.
If you don't know what hooch is, that is what they make in prison.
Oh. I think I'll stick with store bought for now.
But I do want to make because we have a mulberry tree, so I want to make like mulberry wine, and we got blackberries, so blackberry wine, and then I want to do blueberries and blueberry wine, and then grapes and do like normal wine.
We need to go back to Branson so I can get more of that blackberry velvet wine that I got on your bachelorette trip.
Mm-hmm.
That was the best shit.
That is delicious.
I think I ended up taking like 3 bottles of it home.
It
Like,
was really good.
I think Heather bought me. Did you buy me 1 bottle?
I got one
One or
for
two,
Christmas.
Yeah, but like she gave me 1 or 2, and I bought 1 or 2. Yeah.
Like I need all the products.
Yeah, Heather was like, "Oh, I was gonna buy those for you. They were gonna be a gift." I was like, "You can still give them to me. I'm not complaining." Like, is this more wine for me?
I have a a bottle of wine in my fridge that we got for Christmas, and it's the one of the Snoop Dogg ones. It was the same one.
Oh yeah.
And I did not
Yeah.
like it. It's
Was it the California Red?
yeah,
Yeah. That one was very dry.
yeah.
Very dry.
I'm not a
Are we
dry
still
person.
planning on renting a house in Branson? Thinking?
I don't know.
Doesn't
We'll have
sound
to
fun
see about
anymore.
that. We'll have to see about vacation time
Mm.
and days. So we'll see.
See, that's why I love my job. I don't have to think about shit like that. If I need some time off, they're gonna give it to me, no questions asked.
My job's very nice about allowing me to work from home, but I wouldn't want to work on vacation.
Yeah.
I know that I wouldn't be committed to it. So I would, yeah, not a good idea.
Well, fingers crossed. I hope you get that vacation time because I really wanna take Ellie there, and like I think she'd really enjoy like the butterfly palace.
Oh my gosh, I think she would love that.
Because like when we went for her bachelorette trip, I had this one butterfly landed on my finger. It literally just stayed there the entire time we were there.
Oh
Like
shoot.
eventually, I had to like scrape him off my finger so we could walk out. And I was like, I bet I could just sneak him out one time. And he's not going nowhere.
Yeah, they do like a body check and they
Yeah.
like make you shake your hair out.
Oh, I forgot what weekend was that again. I know it said it on the text. Branson.
I think were we talking about doing it in June?
Yeah, like one of the first couple weeks in June.
Yeah, either the first or second one.
I couldn't remember.
And I think we were gonna do 3 days.
Okay, well, fine. It's not killer.
Which I probably handy that because we were gonna do this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, huh? So yeah, I could do that. I'm in. Let's go. Where's your favorite place to go in Branson? We've got a couple. Other than the what was the place that we went? Didn't like the one vineyard that we went to. Sorry guys. Their snacks were
Oh,
great.
are you talking about that one of the last ones we went to?
Yeah.
It was like out in the middle of nowhere. That place was awful.
God.
I can't remember the name of it. I
I don't
mean,
think I like
as long as we don't name a
the
place, we can talk shit.
Oh,
But no, like even all the wines were disgusting. And Victoria loved dry wines, and she couldn't even drink theirs.
Yeah.
Like,
oh gosh.
And I got all the sweet ones and I felt like they were really dry. So I was like, I don't know what you guys are doing here.
Probably would have been out on that too then. Like, no, I'm good, thank you.
And then the charcuterie board was the like a lunchable.
yeah, it was like one that you buy at Walmart.
And it was like $8.
But that one we went to, when we go for brunch or whatever, the very first one we went to,
Yeah, that one was my favorite where we had lunch at.
it's where we bought the black velvet.
Oh,
And then we went to another
But
one.
even like the food that they had there in their charcuterie board was amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Did we actually eat food or did we just do it?
yeah, we ordered food. I remember ordering the artichoke and spinach dip.
Oh.
I think we mainly did like appetizers and like snacks and stuff like that. I don't think we ordered actual food, but
hell
We should
yeah.
go there again.
yeah.
Sounds delicious.
And then the next place we went was like a quick in and out kind of just like you go and you stand around a thing and then they give you a couple shots of wine.
Mm-hmm.
That one was they had one in there that was just really, really good. And then the other one's not so much. I feel like that's the downside of doing a wine tasting is normally there's like one that you like and then
The
rest
rest
are
no.
yeah.
Yeah, I did one with Mom and Aunt Veronica, and we had like 6 little. Well, they said little, but it felt big.
Mhm.
We were drunk by the time we were leaving. Like Justin had to come pick us up because it was bad. It was good though, but bad. So
We did a flight at the place here at the Three Seas
mhm.
and it was really good. I liked it.
See, I've been meaning to go down there and check that out, but I don't know. I don't know. I kind of ghosted them at that doctor's office. They were like, "You need to come back for a checkup," and never went back.
Yeah, I keep ghosting the hospital in Bartersville. They want me to pay them $185, but
For what?
last year, my
Your emergency room visit?
yeah, but they just shove it up their ass.
That's crazy. One time, the Pasco Hospital billed my mom for 1 cent. Your brother lost his shit and called up there and went off on them. 1 cent from 2016 or 2017. It took more to mail that letter than it did like
I would have done the same thing. That is so ridiculous.
it was like she's dead. It was so
That reminds me of when I was up in Idaho and they did an ultrasound on me. And when I went to the doctor's office, they took my insurance. They didn't say nothing to me. I went back for my appointment. And then, like, a couple weeks later, I get a bill in the mail for over $2,000. I'm like, what the fuck? And I start looking at it. They didn't accept my insurance.
yeah.
And they didn't even tell me that, hey, we don't take this insurance. They just made a copy of it and let me go on my merry way.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I did not pay them. They called me, like, when I moved back to Oklahoma, they tried to call me, like, debt collectors. And they were like, we're looking for Deborah Connor. And I'm like, this is Deborah Connor. They're like, is your birthday on this date? And I'm like, no. What is this referring to? I'm not giving you any more information. What is this in reference to?
What do you want?
And he's like, well, we're calling to collect money. And I'm like, no, you have the wrong Deborah Connor. That's not my birthday. That's not my social security number. Don't know what you're talking about.
I'm always like, whenever the people come up to you on the street and they're like, "Are you so and so?" And then they're like, "Yeah," and they're like, "You've been served." And I'm always like, so if somebody random ever asks me if that's my name, I'm gonna be like, "No,
I
bye,
don't know who
Felicia.
that is.
Not gonna serve me."
Oh,
But sometimes I've seen some like really creative ones where they're like a pizza delivery guy and they're like, "Hey, are you this person?" And they're like, "I didn't order a pizza." And they're like, "Well, it says so and so at this address." And then they're like, "Yeah, that's me." But they're like, "You've been served." And I'm like, "Oh, good one."
well, that's smart thinking.
Maybe I should be one of those guys.
There's a career in it.
Because that would be so fun.
I think I saw one the other day where, like, this dude, I think he was doing, like, a book signing or, like, a comic book thing. I can't remember. But, like, this other dude walked in and said, oh my god, you're blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yay, yeah. Hi, man. Good to meet you. And he's like, here's your papers. You've been served. Good to meet you. Just, like, like, I don't think of that.
That's so funny.
Like, damn, you caught me.
I feel like there used to be a show about that.
I'm shocked there's not.
You remember that one show? What was it called? With, like, the tow trucks and they'd, like, repo cars?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Shit was wild. I know. We saw that whenever we were in Branson one time, and then I remember trying to find it on TV at home, and I could never find it until like years later. It finally came on.
Is it like?
Maybe that dish.
Wait, I think I'm thinking of like the bounty hunter guy.
Oh,
I think I'm thinking
love
of him.
the bounty hunt.
Like, I remember one scene where she's, like, trying to repo this car, and the lady catches her. She's like, yeah, it's my car. And she, like, jumps in, and, like, she's standing in front of it, like, on a parking garage. They're on, like, the second level. And she's, like, trying to hook something to the front of the car, and she ends up driving the car forward and, like, hitting her off the side of the parking garage.
God.
Oh my god.
And then, like, she's standing there like, oh my god, did I kill her? And her friend that was there with her to help her repo the car was like, oh my god. And then, like, 5 minutes later, she comes around the corner and she's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. But I would too. I'd kick somebody's ass if they knocked me off the second story of a building.
Yeah. Would too. That's traumatizing.
I'm just trying to think of like what I would do in that situation. I'm pretty sure that in that situation I would cut my losses. I'd be like, yeah, it's okay. I've survived. I've survived.
Yeah, but this lady, she's a big lady, like a Hulk of a lady. Like, if somebody came up to me looking like that, saying they were gonna kick my ass, they probably would have shit my pants.
Instant.
Are you like a call my bluff type of person? Or like I am?
It's not, yeah, call it.
I'm like, well, yeah, are you really? Is that what we're gonna do here? I was watching Resident Alien last night, and have you guys seen it? Did you guys watch it? If you guys haven't seen it, spoiler alert.
I've actually been watching the new Avatar series they released on Netflix.
I saw an ad for that.
It's so good.
Okay, so on a Resident Alien, the two aliens, they were gonna get into a fight, and then the one alien was like, "You didn't tie me up," and then he's like, "Yeah, I thought that you were just gonna break your restraints and break my chair. Then I'd have to sweep up the wood. And then you'd probably be mad, and then you'd probably throw me into the refrigerator. Then I'd have to call the refrigerator repairman, and then he'd have to talk for a really long time. And then I was like, I feel like that's just me. I'm just like, yeah, man, I would fight you right now, but then I'd have to clean up all the stuff, and then I might break a vase, and I'd have to clean that up, and it's not worth all that. Like, I'm already like thinking way past whatever's going on. I'm always like, just don't think that that's worth it.
Maybe not for me.
That's not how my brain works. My brain's like, do it now, consequences later.
No, I'm like, man, I'm gonna break my hand, and I'm gonna have to go to the doctor, and then, oh,
Where was that thought process when you punched the wall?
yeah.
That was the one time I just
I didn't think I was gonna break my hand. There's been plenty of times that I've punched a wall and I've not broken my hand.
Okay, Justin Connor.
Runs in the family.
We've got it yours. But I do think that, which I told Darian in the last episode, I do think that in that immediate instant that I knew my hand was broke, I was like, we should probably work on this. We should probably not hit things anymore.
Maybe.
Oh my god.
Maybe next time you'll show him who's boss.
Or just don't. Just don't. You're gonna need hands.
For sure. There was one time that I don't know what I was doing, but I slammed a cabinet door, and then the pulley, like, I don't know why, but I just like slammed it on the pull thing, and then it really hurt the inside of my hand, and it like bruised the whole palm of my hand, and I was just like, that should have been my moment. That I was like, if I don't stop hitting things or like doing things aggressively, I'm gonna hurt myself.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was like 2 weeks later that I broke my hand, and I was like,
Perfect. A freak.
oops.
I'm like covered in scars because I'm always hurting myself.
I feel like I always had new bruises.
Mine's bruises.
I have this one from where I burnt myself on a lawnmower a few years ago.
Oh my gosh. No, that's like when we were at Tara's funeral. I like clipped the corner of the pew and it left a really big bruise on it. And I swear I had it for a month, and I would like remember and then forget, and then I'd be like, "What's this bruise from?" And then Justin was like, "What'd you do?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Breathe. That's what I do." And then it like finally went away. But yeah, I usually have like random like bruises, and I'm like, I was planning on being anemic. Like, I'll like bump into the corner and then have like a bruise here for like ever. It's
Yeah, I can't even do that. I'm just clumsy.
yeah. Well, me too. We've seen that.
I'll do the same thing though. I'll like run into the side of something or like hit my shin on a table.
Oh,
And then I'm just like, oops, and I just keep going. And then a couple weeks later, I'm like, what the fuck is this bruise from?
Yes, that's so me. That's so me.
For sure.
Oh, I saw a Harry Potter themed cruise ship, and I instantly thought of you. And then I was like, then I thought like of walking through doors, and then I was like, you're so gonna drown on this ship. You're just gonna walk through the ship, and then you're gonna be in the ocean.
Oh my gosh. No, the boys bought me also like with the Lego set a Harry Potter cookbook and it has like recipes and all that. So I was flipping through it earlier and I was like, okay, this sounds good. This sounds good. So
I love that.
I know. So, when you said cruise ship, I'm like, I wonder if they'll have like the food and butterbeer. I bet so. That'd be cool.
I think
I'm down. Let's do it.
We
we
went,
should go on a cruise.
your brother wants to really bad. Like really, really bad. He wants to do he's mentioned the Alaskan one, and I think it's mainly because like he like wants to take your dad somewhere. Especially since we weren't invited on the last cruise. He was like, I want to take him. But he's mentioned that and then there's been like cheap little 3-day cruises to like the Bahamas and all that. And he's like, I want to do that. I'm like, I don't care. Like, just tell me.
Yeah.
Like, where to be?
Right?
When I did that so bad. Are there cruises that you don't have to have a passport for?
You can. You just it has to like dock in like America, and I can't remember if the territories count or not. Like the Dominican.
Yeah, I don't think you need a passport to go
I can't
to
remember.
the American territories.
Might double check that. That'd suck if we got there and then like
Right.
our dream.
Yeah.
I told her I had well, she told me about her dream, like forgetting all this stuff, but I had a dream too that like we were going to Mexico. It was almost like we were going to Cancun again. And we got to the DFW to fly out and I had left my passport here in Oklahoma. And when I woke up, I was like oh my God. And then I was like, wait, we don't have a trip booked. Like, what am I doing?
I know. And then I had a dream that, well, because I was planning on us going to Italy. And so in my dream, I had everybody's stuff ready for us to all move to Italy. And then we all missed our flight. I was so mad. I was like, man, now we got to refile all this paperwork. But I don't think that's really how it works. But I was really stressed out about the paperwork. But I think that growing together is great. I think that we should go on a cruise. I think that would be so fun.
Yeah.
I think it would
For
too.
sure.
Let's book one.
We'll
Now.
have to pick a good time.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's not good for me.
a cruise instead of going to Branson.
That's fun. We could do a 3-day cruise. Leave out of, I don't know where they go in Texas. Houston?
Probably Galveston.
Galveston. Is Houston not on the coast?
No, it's a little more inbound, inland.
Yeah. I think it's like a hour to 2 hour drive to the coast from Houston.
Okay, I'm excited. Let's go to Galveston. We'll just make a 5-day trip out of it. We'll go on a little cruise. My one of my coworkers just came back from the Bahamas, I think, or not the Bahamas. He said he went to Cozumel, but it was like a 5-day. He left on Friday night and then came back on Thursday, which he said that whenever they got off the ship on Thursday is when AT&T had their outage. And so they're literally driving through Galveston and Houston with no cell phone service, no GPS, no map, no nothing. And he was like, I felt like I was a kid again. I was trying to figure out which way to go and which direction, and it didn't take us very long, but we finally got it figured out. I was like, good grief, we were out of cell phone service for like the entire morning. I would have been so stressed out.
Right.
I would just stopped at a gas station to get a map and go from there.
Right? That's kind of what I was
I
thinking.
probably would have just sat and waited. Like, we're gonna find somewhere to hang out until the phones work again.
My Uncle Gary made sure I learned how to like read a map and find my way and all that. So that's why I'm like, just give me a map. I could do this.
Nobody ever taught me. I just wanted to go to Las Vegas for a really long time, and then so I had a map of the US, and then I mapped a route to Vegas, and I was like, yep, I'm gonna go there one day. Never did.
You've never been to Vegas?
Whenever we were kids, we did.
Oh.
No, I haven't been like in it for a memorable.
Have you?
Yeah. I went with Monica, but I wouldn't call it very memorable. We spent most of the time at her friend's house. We were only supposed to be there for like a week. We ended up being there for like a month.
Fly home. When was that?
We were still in high school.
I don't remember that.
You were supposed to come, but you had like cheer camp or something.
So you haven't been like since you're 21 though, like to the
No.
party. Okay, okay.
No, the most partying we did was
Caitlin's birthday?
yeah, it was Caitlin's birthday, and her mom got a very fancy hotel room, and I didn't realize that if you pick the things up off the thing, like it has like a weight scale.
Mhm.
So as soon as you pick it up, they charge you for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, and what I picked up was a disposable camera because I was like, oh, how weird that they would put this in the room. You know, I haven't seen one of these in a really long time. And then they informed me that by picking it up, it charged it to the room, and I was like, I've never heard of that, but okay.
It's so crazy.
And then when we checked out the next day, they were like, "Oh, by the way, you owe my mom $20 for that camera." And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? $20 for a disposable camera?
Mhm.
I wouldn't even know where to get that fucking thing developed."
Walgreens.
Wild.
It's so crazy.
Fancy places.
Yeah, we were scared to even drink
I
water.
can't think of the name of the hotel we stayed at, but I know like they had a different building with like suites in it that was like themed. Like they had a Playboy suite and like a Barbie suite, and they were really fancy.
Wow. Like the Bellagio or something.
Something like that.
That's crazy. I who else? I feel like Victoria went. Yeah, Victoria went to Vegas with John and Melissa and asked me to go, and I don't know why I couldn't go, but I was so jealous. She said she Snapchatted me the whole time she was there, and I was like, I so would have had so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I was older, I'm sure I would have had a little more fun, but like I was 16 in Vegas. Like,
Will you grab the charger for the
couldn't even
iPad
do
and for the
anything by
laptop?
myself.
We can,
Sure.
yeah.
Oh no!
She was like on the couch, like,
What were we gonna talk about?
places you want to travel.
So where are some places that you want to go?
Well, Scotland's like my number one place, and I'd like to go to Australia, like anywhere in Australia. Probably wouldn't stay there very long. They have a lot of scary creatures down there.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Whenever I went to Spain, the other trip was Australia, and surprisingly, those girls didn't have as much fun as we did. Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't really talk. Though most of them were like sports girls, but they didn't have as much fun as we did. But also,
I'd have a
they
blast in Australia.
we only had an 18-hour flight. They had like a 26-hour flight.
Yeah, that's a long
It's
crazy.
Which I watched a TikTok the other day where they did a direct flight from New York, which I don't know why you wouldn't have a layover in the United States at all, but they left from New York and they flew all the way to Australia, and I was just like, and then they touched down in New Zealand, but if you're going to Australia, then you don't get off the plane, so you just
Yeah, they just stop for a refuel.
yeah, and then they went on to Sydney, and I was just like, that is the craziest thing. But Australia does sound fun. I do want to see a kangaroo in its natural habitat.
there's this TikTok of this guy who's like he had a kangaroo jumper on, and there was a baby kangaroo in his yard. He just walked up with the pouch, held the pouch open, and the little baby kangaroo just jumped right on in. And I was like, that'd be me. That would be me in a heartbeat. And then the mama come around the corner, like,
Yeah, like not.
I'm running for my life.
Are there any other places you want to go?
I think Japan would be a really cool place to go at some point. Everybody says they're really against tattoos, and I'd like not be allowed anywhere. So like, I don't know how I feel about that, but like, I think it'd be cool to go regardless too.
You can put makeup on them.
I could, but that's a lot of work. I pay a lot of money for these. I want them to be seen.
Where do you want to go?
Well, my number one is still Mexico. I mean, I know I've been to Cancun, but I want to go inland. I want to go to Mexico City and like where my family was from. So that's number one. Number two for me, probably Switzerland. I want to see the Swiss Alps and like take a train ride through it. So I think that would be super cool. And then the third place, which is probably like the most realistic out of all the other two, but I want to go up to Canada to like their side of Glacier National Mountain Park and like all of that. So I think that'd be cool.
Heck yeah.
And I'd do Japan too. I think it'd be fun. I don't anywhere with culture. I want to learn.
Right. Yeah, that's my thing. I definitely want to go to Ireland. I just kind of want to see where our people are from. But then I sent you guys the Netherlands last week. That sounds so cool. Their flower parade, which
I'm totally down for that.
I've always been like in love with the tulip fields, and then they did it on. They went there on the somebody's season of The Bachelorette, and I think it was the Gabby and Rachel season. But then I was like, oh, I have to go there. That place just looks so fun. And then other than that, like Hawaii sounds fun, but Hawaii's expensive. And then Australia, honestly, I want to go everywhere. Italy is in my top. I would go everywhere. Really honestly, if somebody said, "Do you want to go here tomorrow?" I would say yes. Let me get a new credit card. I'll put it on it. It will be fine.
I'm with you on that though. I pretty much would go anywhere too, I think. So.
Is there anywhere you guys would not go?
I think mine, funny enough, is Australia. There's really not a whole lot that like makes me want to go, and I feel like I'd get bitten by like the spider or snake, and I just feel like it's not good for me.
I feel like I would be terrified that there would be a snake in the toilet.
And I've had that happen to me at work before. There was a snake in our toilet, so yeah. I'm like, so sure what there.
Well, I think like in Australia, like they have the spiders that hide like up in the toilet, like up under the rim, and they don't like come out like till you like flush the toilet, and then you see them like, like trying to run back up.
No, dead ass. So. I went to work one day, and like Mike was still there the first time, and he had like off-duty fire, like and two other fire, like there's a police department, like the dog catcher at the time, and then like someone from the city. And so I knew something was up. And then he came and told me like, hey, he went to go to the restroom and he like was getting ready to and lifted the toilet up, and then out of the toilet like was a little snake head just like popping out like, hey. He like freaked out, like got situated, like ran out to go get the dog catcher. Well, he didn't think about it, but he didn't shut the door. And then they couldn't find the snake. And so he was like, hey, just want to let you know this happened. We think the snake is still in the toilet, but like it's not 100% sure. So at this point, I'm like on top of my desk, like, do I get to go home, homie? Like, I ain't doing this. I'm not peeing here. And then he was like, no, like it's okay, it's okay. So I'm terrified, like sitting up in my chair, like like crouched on it and trying to work. And he sends me a picture. He went back to his office and he saw it peeking out again. And so they knew it was in there. And so the dog catcher came back. Oh my God, I'll never forget this. Dog catcher came back, and Troy at this point is like trying to like hook him or like get him out or something like that. And then this mother and daughter from Texas pull up, and you can tell they're kind of country, like they're kind of yeah. And so, like they were just traveling through or something like that, and they were like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And I was like, "Oh my God, like it's the worst day ever. Like we've had a snake in the toilet, we can't catch it or get it out." And she's like, "I love snakes. I'll do it." Goes in the bathroom. Troy's still using things to try and grab it, and she's like, "I'll get it." Reaches her hand in the toilet, grabs it like below its like face, like neck. It grabs its neck area, pulls it out, and Troy like starts helping her pull it to like get it from the pipes and everything. This motherfucker was like this big. Holy shit. Yes, yes. So he like took it out to the lake just to like release it. But I'll never forget, she was like, "I'll do it." Like, I would have bet my money she smokes like Marble Red. She drinks Budweiser.
That reminds me of when I worked at the casino, like the first casino I worked at, Osage. But when I worked at Osage Casino, instead of going into like the regular break room, I'd go through where our lockers were and out that back door, and I'd just sit out there.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't have to listen to everybody else talk, and it was just my quiet break.
Yeah.
But I was out there, and I finished my cigarette, and I was on my way back inside, and I get halfway across the room, and there's a little snake in the floor. It's not moving, it's belly up, and it was like maybe that long. Like it was a baby, and I was like, "Oh, well, I think it's dead," because like I stopped my feet around it. I like poked it with a stick. It did not move, so I was like, "Okay."
It was inside the casino.
Yeah, it was inside our locker area, and so I just step over it, and I go out, and I find my supervisor, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm just letting you know there's a dead snake back there." And he's like, "Oh, I bet head of security threw it back there. um he likes to mess with people like that and scare them." I was like, "Okay, whatever." And he goes back there, and he comes back out, and he's like, "I can't find it." I was like, "What?"
What?
He goes, "Where was the snake? Come show me." And I walk back there with him. Sure enough, it's gone. And I was like, it was right there in the middle of the floor.
Maybe it was like full digesting of a rat.
I was like, it was right there in the middle of the floor. And he was like, "Okay, well, I'll look around and see if I can't find it." It came in the next day, and he was like, "Oh, hey, they found that snake that you saw. It was a baby cottonmouth." I was like, "No fucking way, I just stepped right over that bitch. Like, it kind of bit me. I'm dead."
So scary.
Because, like, they're even more venomous when they're babies because they can't control how much venom they pump into you when they bite you. So, like, I was like, "Oh my God, I could have died."
Dude, yeah, thankfully ours was just.
But I was like,
snake.
I was like, I've never known, like, I've never heard of cottonmouths playing dead before. So, like, that was really weird to me.
That is weird.
Maybe he just had instincts.
Maybe. He's like, maybe this bitch will leave me alone if I just play dead.
At least you didn't step on him.
Or
I
sit on
poked
him.
him.
Or sit on a toilet and then him trying to like.
Right.
That's literally my biggest fear.
Be like, tinkle, tinkle, tinkle.
I didn't use the toilet at work for like a month after that because I was just paranoid. Even still to this day, I like make sure the lid's shut just because I'm like, it ain't getting out. It ain't getting out on my watch. So
After I saw the video of this spider in Australia that was in the toilet, I flushed the toilet every time before I used it for like 2 months, like a really long time. And I was like, always, I was like, man, there's gonna be something all up in there, and whoop, not today, Satan.
For real.
What kind of snake was it?
They said like a water snake or
Just a regular
snake.
snake?
Yes, it wasn't nothing crazy, but yeah.
I want to keep a pet water snake. Be so cool.
We're never living together again. Like what?
Kids and I love snakes and reptiles.
You guys can have your own house in our little commune.
That's what we were doing anyway.
No, the one that I
I
found
don't
in
think
Italy.
we could live in the same house as everybody else.
The one that I found in Italy was like the main house had like 10 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms. And then there was like servants' quarters, but I didn't figure that we were gonna have servants.
Hey, we might.
Maybe. It also came with a bar. That sounds fun. I've always wanted to own a bar.
And hire a live-in nanny if we had that type of money. She could stay in the servants' quarters.
I'll be in the conservatory. It's like a real life game of Clue.
Oh, right. Secret passage. Candlestick.
I bet you want to play Clue now.
I'd
I've
probably
played that
be in-
forever.
I'd probably be in the kitchen as long as it's amazing.
Oh, I know. The which one? One of them, I want to say it was the one in France, had the most beautiful kitchen I've ever seen.
Was that one the link that you sent?
No, that one was Italy. The one in France was the one with the guard. The
Oh,
statue.
yes. I was trying to keep up with it. Yes, I remember that one now.
But also I found like a property that was owned by like the Knights Templar, and it was like an octagon shape, and I was like, that looks exactly like what I want. Except there was all kinds of like Freemason stuff in there, so then I was like, I don't know, there might be ghosts in here.
Oh gosh,
Mhm.
not the kind
That's haunted.
Yeah. And I'm out.
Do you remember when we were younger, Monica took us to her cousin's house, the one with the pool? It's like a two-story house. It used to be like an old funeral home.
No, it's not funeral home.
Yeah, it used to be a funeral home. But she had told me one night when we were sleeping, and like we were just staying there for the night so we could go wherever the next day. I can't remember. But she told me because I couldn't get to sleep that night. We had done like uh, she had like one of those recorders to pick up like ghosts talking and stuff to you.
Yeah.
So we had done that, and like somebody had claimed that another person had like tugged on his shirt and like he lost his shit. Well, anyways, I couldn't go to sleep that night, and I stayed awake for like the longest time. But finally, exhaustion took over, and I passed out. And Monica told me that after I had passed out, I had sat up in my sleep and looked over at her and said, "Monica, I'm scared," and then collapsed back down onto the floor back asleep. And I was like, "Oh, I didn't do that." I was terrified, but like I didn't talk to her in my sleep. I've never talked to my sleep
You're
before.
subconscious. You didn't get that off its chest.
That's so crazy.
That is crazy.
And then I think it's like I was on one side of Monica, and then you were on the other side with Erwin. I think that's how we were. And you and Erwin were out cold, and Monica like she couldn't fall asleep because I was laying on her arm. Using her arm as a pillow or something, and when I finally fell asleep and I sat up, she's like, "Man, that was the most relief, but you scared the shit out of me when you started talking."
Like this bitch is haunted. Like I'm out of here.
Sometimes Diego like sleepwalk, and it's the creepiest thing because I every time he moves I wake up, and so because I'm always like, what are you doing, where are you going, why are you leaving? And then but then he'll like sometimes he'll like instead of like getting out of bed he'll just like sit up, and then he'll lay back down, and then he'll sit up, and then he'll lay back down. And then I'm like, are you trying to get up and you don't know how? Or like what is going on right now? And but I don't know, and I literally have no idea. He just does it sometimes. And so I'm like, do you need to go to the bathroom, or do you need to like, are you hungry? Is there something, are you awake right now? And he's just like
TikTok. This guy woke up to the baby crying. Well, woke up, and his wife wasn't like 100% sure if like he was actually awake, but she was like, "I need you to go make a bottle for him." So he goes to the kitchen and grabs a bottle, pours some Red Bull in it, and brings it back. And she's like, "What? This is this is not for the baby. And then like he like kind of lays back down and she like shakes him. She's like, hey, I need a bottle. And he sits up and he goes, oh, okay. And she hands him the bottle with the Red Bull in it. And he's like, what the fuck is this? She goes, that's what you just brought me. He's like, what? She goes, drink it. And he drinks it. He goes, oh, that's not for the baby.
That is so crazy.
Oh my god.
I would be so mad. Honestly, I would be so tired. I would probably give it to the baby and then be like, what? What the fuck is this?
Oh, that poor heart. Oh,
Poor
gosh.
baby.
I know. Poor heart. Can't handle that.
I feel like I'm just not that observant. Thank you guys.
Well, thank you for listening to our ramblings and our laughter.
That you guys enjoyed it.
Shout out to Lynn for guest starring, making a whole reel for y'all.
Comment below and tell us what you're planning in your garden this year.
And where you want to travel or a cool place you have been.
Heck yeah.
And cruise recommendations.
Yes.
Cruise lines, cruise captains, cruise package, cruise
Right.
ports.
Yes. Amen. We also have a 2-year-old. She will be 2. So, for kids, we need to make sure there's kids
But not
involved.
Disney cruise.
Yeah, but not Disney because I think they
There's
kidnap
a rabbit
kids.
hole. Yeah, it's the rabbit hole on TikTok. Just do it.
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
The princess wave.